Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm Judith Patterson. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Texas, and today I'm going to show you how to create one of the cards from the catalog. Stampin' Up's publications, their catalogs, celebration brochures, things like that are one of my favorite places to find inspiration whenever I am stamping cards or projects. And sometimes I keep them exactly the same as you find them in the catalog, and sometimes I tweak them a little, sometimes I tweak them a lot. Today I'm going to be using the Blessings of Home stamp set. I'll be using the stamp set all week over on my blog, so if you want some more ideas for this stamp set, then be sure to check over there throughout the week and see what happens. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down. So here is the stamp set in the catalog. It can be found on page 75 of the 2022 to 2023 annual catalog. Now, these are gorgeous cards on this page. I love them, and I thought about doing one of these, but then I decided to do something a little different. And if you look at page 20, there's these great daffodil cards here. So I decided to do, okay, this isn't a daffodil card. This is breaking news. So the daffodil cards is what I was looking at. But I decided to do this one, and I went ahead and made one using the same layout that is in this card and the same colors on this card. I just changed the stamp set to my stamp of the week, Blessings of Home. But the colors, the layout is the same. Happy Mother's Day is part of this stamp set, so I used the thank you that's part of Blessings of Home stamp set, and I just used my paper snips to cut it out after I had heat embossed it. So I'm going to do this same idea, but this time I'm going to change up the colors a little bit, but it'll still be the same layout. So I'm going to start by using my Stamparatus and Tuxedo Black Memento ink to stamp this large flower stamp from Blessings of Home on just a piece of basic white cardstock. So I'm pulling out so that I'm got that in the I want to be able to stamp it in the exact same spot, and there's a little bit of give in this plate, so you can see it kind of wiggles just a little bit. So I want to stamp that again and make sure that that center flower, the big one especially, is pretty dark. Just inking that back up, and I'm pulling the same way I did. That way it's going to stamp in the same place. Okay, that looks great. So I'm already finished with this ink. I don't even need it anymore, so I'm just going to put that away. And I'm finished with my Stamparatus for now, so I'm going to put it away as well. And then I'm going to use my Stampin' Blends to color this image. So I'm going to use the dark Daffodil Delight. And color the center of some of these flowers. So, and you can go back over again some of these markings that are in the middle of the flower and just darken those sections up a smidge. Okay, I'm going to do the center of these and the center of this one. So basically the centers of all these flowers, color in with the dark Daffodil Delight. Okay, so now that that is colored, put away those blends. I'm going to go ahead and get that thank you stamp and just a scrap of Starry Sky cardstock. I'm going to use my embossing buddy. Remember, these are available as part of the embossing kit in the mini catalog. I'm just going to stamp. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the whole thing with Versamark. It says, thank you for inspiring me, but I really just want the thank you. So if you don't want to have the whole thing stamped, you can always use a Post-it note and mask off the bottom line before inking it with Versamark, and then just make sure that you take that Post-it off before you stamp it on your cardstock. Okay, now I'm going to set that with the heat tool. So there's that. I'm just going to set it aside for now. So if you'll notice on the bottom of this card in the catalog, there is this strip of cardstock here that they've stamped with this stamp over and over. So instead of doing that, since I don't have that stamp, I'm going to use the smaller, it's still a pretty large stamp, but it's the smaller floral image. I'm going to use the Starry Sky ink, and I'm going to stamp just these flowers. And I'm hoping I can do it in such a way that I don't overlap too bad. I'll overlap a little, that's fine. So one thing I'm going to do is start pretty far over here on the edge. Oh yes, I like that. So a lot of this is going to be actually covered up with the with this piece that we colored. So I am turning it, so I think I can get closer. Okay, so I like the way that looks. So that's all of the stamping that we're going to do. So now it's time to get out the mini stamp cut and emboss machine and start cutting out some of these images. So I'm using the Flowers of Home dies. I'm going to use this one that matches this image here, and I've already got some washi tape on it, so I'm just going to stick that down. Gonna get it centered up as good as I can. This one leaves a nice white border, or whatever cardstock color that you're stamping on, border around your image. I like that. And as always, on the mini stamp cut and emboss machine, make sure you are staggering your dies. Not your dies, your cutting plates. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm gonna get a piece of Starry Sky cardstock. It is cut 3.5 inches wide by 4 3/4 inches tall. And I'm using the Stitch Rectangles dies. I'm using these two, so it's the 3rd and 4th largest dies in this set. And I've already got them taped together. This time I used Post-it tape. I just use whatever's handy. So this one is Post-it tape, and I have them taped together so that they'll stay nice and even and make a pretty frame. So there is that frame, all cut out and ready to go, and you can save this inside piece for another project. And then the last thing that we need to do before assembling our card is cut out this thank you. So I'm just going to use my paper snips to do that. I'm going to cut straight up and over. And then down. Then I'm going to cut the two words apart. So on this first card, I went ahead and kind of cut around these letters just a little bit. It is up to you as to whether you want to do that out or just leave them squared off like this one is. I'm going to leave this one squared. That way you can see the difference. And I'm pulling my graph paper back out, my grid paper, because I want to use it to measure. So I have my card base on this line here, and I know that I want this piece to be 1 inch up. This piece is 4 inches by 1.5 inches. I'm just centering that across the front and getting it at about that 1 inch mark. Okay, it looks nice and straight. Then I'm going to take my frame and add some more liquid glue to the back of it. Just a little bit because I don't want it to ooze out the sides. And I'm going to center this on the front also. Okay, so for the flowers, I want to use Stampin' Dimensionals on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to take the thank you. I'm going to put just one Stampin' Dimensional on the back of each of them. So this one, I want it to be over here on the Y side of the U, but I don't want it on the edge. There we go. So I'm just going to put that right about here. And then this one, I want it, the dimensional behind the TH. So I'm going to put that here. I'm going to go ahead and take that back off. And then for the other side of it, I'm going to put a little bit of liquid glue. I'm going to place that right about there. And then that's it. Our card is finished. Now, if you want to, you could add some more of this to the inside, basic white piece, or you could stamp another flower just along the corner here, and then add that to the inside so you have a nice place to write on. And in fact, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to take that flower, and I'm just going to ink it up with the Starry Sky again. And then I'm just going to stamp it right there in the corner. And you can have as much or as little. I like to leave plenty of room to write, so I didn't want to put the whole thing on there, but you certainly could. And this inside piece measures 5 1/4 inches by 4 inches. And there you go. There is our card from the catalog. And here is the original one that I made. And then again, here's what it looks like in the catalog with the Daffodil Daydream stamps. So there they are to compare. I hope you enjoyed this card from the catalog. If there's a card that you would like to see in one of our current publications, then let me know and I'll do my best to create it either as it's found in the catalog or my version of it if I don't have all of the supplies. So I hope that you're having a good week, that your week is off to a great start, that you have time to get in your crafting space and make something this week. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you would like to see more of these videos. Thank you so much. Happy stamping.